Hi guys, Mattias, and yes, after the long-awaited Battlefield 6 beta was over, the drama and the not-so-subtle biased opinions kept flourishing. This, especially from people who clearly are not Battlefield players. Now obviously everyone tries to make the case that they just want a better game or an as good game as possible. Some of them, perhaps many of them, seem to forget what game they're playing and in what franchise Battlefield 6 actually is part of. Now, as I'm sure you've guessed by now, the major part of the drama is about the upcoming Battle Royale that EA has announced is going to be released sometime in 2026. Now, unlike the only other Battle Royale that Battlefield has ever produced, Firestorm, this is going to be a free-to-play Battle Royale. It's not being developed by DICE at all, it's actually being developed by Ripple Effect. And it is this late release that is one of the reasons for the drama, why some people, especially Battle Royale streamers, are disappointed. Now, on the other side of this discussion, and I think I would say that I'm part of that other side, there's a lot of people that are disappointed with the fact that the beta didn't provide us with enough vehicle gameplay and enough large maps. There's this, what most Battlefield players consider semi-large map called the Liberation Peak, that among other maps actually had some tank gameplay, even if rather limited to very few tanks. But unfortunately that map was also the only map that had helis and jets, and only one heli and one jet on each team. Add to the fact that most people considered flying in the Battlefield 6 beta very underwhelming. A lot of voices have been raised in the Battlefield community that this game, Battlefield 6, is actually catering to basically any other first-person shooter than Battlefield players. And yes, I'm sure I don't need to mention that very game or game franchise that every one of you are thinking about right now. Are you kidding me? What? Okay, I will never knife again. So now, coming from the Battlefield 1 community, there was actually a lot of people that were disappointed also with the sound or the lack of satisfying sounds that we have in, yes, the most popular Battlefield in the entire franchise. Other discussions was about the time to kill, the time to die that you experience it when you take damage, some of which has been recognized by EA, by the way. The fact that it doesn't add up, and apparently it's because the two first bullets when you take damage will not even register, so it seems like you die just instantly when in many cases you have to put half a magazine into a player in order to take them out. Get fucking wrecked! Now, obviously, it's a natural thing that people from all walks of life or any type of game comes into a beta such as Battlefield 6 and have different opinions about it. Of course, we need to discuss this. What is strange is when you have to advocate for something else than the very game and the very game franchise that you're beta testing. You see, back in the days, I was playing one of the Call of Duty betas, and, well, now I said that name anyway. And in that game, or maybe it was two different games, they actually did have vehicles, they had some tanks, and it was just horribly implemented. Now, I would have obviously enjoyed playing that Call of Duty if it had larger maps and interesting tank and even heli gameplay. Unfortunately, the studios that made those games, couldn't implement it in an interesting way, at least not to me during that beta, so I decided that that was not a game for me, yet again with that franchise. However, it is very possible that if whatever studio was making that particular Call of Duty game, if they just put in enough money, enough time, hired enough people, they could make vehicle gameplay interesting, or maybe at least interesting enough for me to want to play it even more. However, I kind of feel like it's out of place to try to go to the Call of Duty community and advocate and even start toxic discussions about making Call of Duty something else than Call of Duty, especially when it's quite obvious that what I'm looking for is Battlefield and the Battlefield gameplay. Now, the logic to adding Battle Royale into Call of Duty makes sense in that way that otherwise Call of Duty are all very, very small maps, which makes the gameplay in some way rather repetitive, whereas in Battlefield you already have large maps and interesting vehicle gameplay in the successful games in the franchise, which doesn't exclude the fact that Battlefield also have, like what you see here, very, very small maps where the gameplay is very, very similar, or at least to a Battlefield player, very similar to the Call of Duty franchise. And I gotta say, it is impossible to counter the arguments from a lot of angry people in the Battlefield community when they say that this beta was not for Battlefield players. It was deliberately presented the way it was presented to cater to a different type of players. What the hell? Oh my god! Oh my god! I failed to switch to my shotgun. I guess that was for the best. So, what did you think about the Battlefield 6 beta? What do you think about all the discussions? Where do you stand? And are you going to play the game when it is released? Me, I played for about 60 hours during the beta. I enjoyed most of it. I did want to see, you know, large-scale maps more. I did want to see more vehicle gameplay. But, you know, I keep my hopes up, and I will most certainly play this game and stream it and make videos about it when it is released. So, unless you want to watch my Battlefield 1 videos and streams, hopefully I'll see you on October 10th for the release of Battlefield 6, or maybe there's an early release for pre-orders, who knows? Or whatever you plan to do, whatever you think of the beta, whatever you think about this video, let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching. What? Wait. Oh, my first stinger kill. Never done that before. What? How did those shots miss?